Good afternoon, welcome to my channel, Stitchy Time with Tish. This is Flosstube number 14. Today is Wednesday the 4th of February 2026. My name is Tish and today I have 6 finishes. Yes, you heard right, 6 finishes. 2 of them are starts and finishes. I've got some whips as well. I've got some plans. I did have birthday haul, but I've put it all away because I had that much. I had loads of fabric, loads of kits. I lost count how many kits I got actually, but it was all in my way. I needed to tidy up and put it all away. So anyway, yes, it's gone, put away. And I also realised something the other day when I was watching a couple of Flosstubers, that last year I never said anything about any of my stacks, like how many stitches I did and blah blah blah. So excuse me. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Going forward, I'm going to do a monthly Flosstube because for the last few months I've struggled trying to do fortnightly, although 3 weeks was the last time I recorded, but I'm going to try and film on like near the 1st of every month. Try to anyway, we'll see what happens, but hoping to do it at the beginning of each month, near enough. So I will let you my stats know from January. So like I'm going to do what's the word, I'm going to tell you all about the stitching that I've done in January. Going forward, I think, yeah, so I'm still in the Whip Warriors group. I'm doing Ozabar Adventures, but I am a shopkeeper and I am a blacksmith, so to speak, and I've already completed 2 orders and I'm on my way to stitching a 3rd one. And it's a lot of stitches, but in the process it has helped me to do a lot of stitches. I'll tell you how many stitches I've done after I've shown you all my finishes and whips. But yes, it's really good. So Whip Warriors now have different events. They've all changed from last year. Scavenger hunt isn't no more. I didn't get all 100 from items. I got 75 out of 100, which wasn't too bad, I think, personally. In Whip Warriors you earn threads and buttons, and last year I don't know how many buttons I got, I lost count. I'm not really interested in the buttons anyway, but the threads I earned at last count I saw, I earned 210 threads for the year, which wasn't bad, I think, personally. I'm not sure how much I've earned this year starting because they've not updated the thread sheet right now. They're still grading. But I can tell you that I did get a brown button and 4 threads for Stitch and Seek so far. Because I've got all 10 prompts. Right, so the events that I took part in during January, I did the Stitch and Seek, which replaces Scavenger Hunt, Feisty Focus, which is combined Beat the Modem and project focus because you could use the same whip for both, so they combined it together. So and with that, you pick a modem that you want to beat, and they pick a modem that you need to beat. So it's kind of, yeah. Anyway, I think I covered that last month anyway. Whip words, which was, I can't remember what it was last year. Last year, what was it? Word game. I had to go back and check. Right, so word game, where you did crosswords, word search. Boggle was one of them. Last month was, I've left it over there. I believe it was a word search. And I covered all of that on one whip. I don't know if I told you that. No, I didn't. That was on. Yeah, there was 10 solutions, and I covered it on one whip. You could stitch between 100 and 200 stitches. And I did that all on one. You can stitch it in one on one whip, provided that you're saying that you're doing it, and I poke stitched that in one whip, which I found was much easier. And I'm going to do that again every month instead of splitting it, because I found last year was a pain in the bum, and this year I found that it was easier. So yeah, the Strident sale was still going on. Again, I didn't get to it because I really want to work on my mindfulness mandala, and again I didn't do it. For some reason I didn't quite get to it, but I'm hoping to get to it this month, and I will explain that in plans. So for Stitch and Seek, there were 10 words, items or word that you needed to seek in either in your whips or items in the real world. And the items were cat, grass, chimney, nose, candle, wine, the colour brown, plain, baseball cap, which confused everyone because they said cap and then in brackets they put baseball cap, etc, 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 so it confused everybody, and what they were meant to have said was baseball cap. So I stitched twice for that because I said flat cap, and then they made an announcement in the group and said no, what she meant was baseball cap. So I had to restitch that again, so I stitched 2 prompts for that one. And cauldron. So the whips I used for that were Welcome Witches Cabinet of Curiosities, because you'll see in a bit I had to use 2 whips for one of the items because I finished one. Coffin Shop, Aurora Cabin, Vintage Travel, and Sassy Sayings. So, and I used Woody as well. Yes, I did. I used Woody too. So, without further ado, let's get on with the 6 finishes that I've got. The first finished of 2026 that I did was Vintage Travel, and I believe it was by Jane Henderson. It was a start and finish. I started it on the 8th of January and finished on the 11th of January, so it was only like 2 days. It was out of one of the magazines on Redley app. I think it was like an ultimate cross stitch, and it was the travel magazine, like 2017, something like that, or 18. Can't remember which one. And I did I did. I can't think what I did. Anyway. And I needed a plane. I didn't have a plane in any of my whips. So I had to stitch for one. So I had to do a new start. So I picked a little one that had a plane, and I did that one. So it had a little flying plane. Don't know what I'm going to do with it right now. So I might stick it. Eventually I'm going to be doing a scrapbook with finishes I don't know what to do with. I think. I don't know yet. It's one of those that I'm going to see what I do with it later kind of thing. So it took me in all 3 to 4 days to finish it. As I said, I started it on the 8th and I finished it on the 11th. In total I did, I think it was just over 1,000 stitches. And I used it for the prompt number 2, is it? No, number 8, get it right. For plain. And then of course I used it for all of my groups I'm in. So Lord of the Rings, I used it for I think I used it for a quest, and they're doing a year-long thing as well. Series of collections for books, and at the moment I'm stitching the Harry Potter collection, and I'm starting with obviously with book 1, and I'm on chapter 17, page 3 to 4. So I'm almost at the end of the book. I'm on the last chapter, so I can move on to book 2 soon. So I've done that. Our Vampire Zoo, I've got we've had 2 new parks to it now. We've got the dinosaur park, which we're currently building, and aqua park, which we're currently building. We've had new animals added since. We've also acquired new animals, and we're breeding, so there's a lot going on, so tons of stitching. Plus I'm also stitching for a new career in it, I think, because I'm a researcher in something else, I don't know. So we can do more things and get double stitches and bloody blah. Anyway, also I joined another group called Floss, and it's quite fun. It's like a roller coaster park, but you got loads of stuff in it, and of course ours is vampire, which is great. Loads of stuff added in. Yeah, tons of stuff I've added in. Oh, it's quite fun. We're stitching away. Utopia, we're still to go in. We're hoping to leave town to travel again to the next town tonight, hopefully. So that should be good. And in Wanderlust, I'm travelling Europe, and I've seen 8 countries so far. Yes, I think it's 8. I'll just double check. No, it's 10 countries. Oh, well they are. I started off with Luxembourg. What I did was I spun a wheel, and it picks which countries I go to. So I started off with Luxembourg, Siberia, Moldova, Switzerland, Czech Republic, Montenegro, I think I'm saying that right, Poland, Finland, Holy See, and then Bosnia Herzegovina. I hope I'm saying that right. And I'm at the moment in Croatia. I'm sorry, pronunciations are a bit off. Yeah, and that's where I am. And it's quite fun. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's the first finish of the year. My second finish is Welcome Witches by Hannah Hand Makes. Now, I haven't told you all my fabrics that I'm working on because I think you know by now I stitch on Ada. I don't stitch on anything else. The counts vary depending on, but most of the time I stitch on 14 count, and then occasionally there's 16 and 18 thrown in. I will tell you if the count's different, but most of the stuff I stitch on is 14 count. I have no idea what type of what fabric it comes from and bloody bar, because I don't know. I honestly do not know, unless I actually know where I got it from, because sometimes most of it was a present from people and I don't know where they got it from. So anyway, so my second finish was Welcome Witches, and as I said in my last video, this was very close to being finished. And I used this one for cat because I had cat in it. I could have used it for cauldron as well because it had a cauldron in it. But it only took me, because I needed 200 stitches to complete the prompt, I only had 119 stitches. And that was including backstitch and some French knots. So I was like, oh. So I had to find another whip to finish off the prompt. So, as you can see, I filled the rest of this, I filled the leaves in here, and I'm pretty certain I had to finish off the sword there. And I think there was something else I had to do here, but I couldn't remember. And in the backstitch, I filled all in. I mean, some of it had to have white stitches on it, but I wasn't happy with, I didn't like the white stitches. So what I did was I just backstitched around this, because there was supposed to be white stitches on this, you know, like the white one here where I've gone in black, you can see the crystal. I'm supposed to do that in white. Now I didn't like it, so I left it off. I didn't bother, and I think I don't think I backstitched the rose. No, the rose isn't backstitched, but it looked it there then. So yeah, backstitched that, backstitched the leaf, and then in some places I put, I backstitched the star, and then in some places I needed to put French knots that didn't have the French knots the last time you saw it. And that is what I done. As I said, it came to like 119 stitches, so that was how close it needed to be finished. And I left the witches off because I didn't, like Halloween when I wanted to display it, I didn't want to, because like at Halloween I want to put it by the front door, but I didn't want to just have witches, I didn't want Welcome Witches, because, you know, so I left that off and thought I can welcome everyone. So that's what I did. So, my third finish, I didn't use it for anything, I believe. No, I didn't. I only used it in the Lord of the Rings because I needed to use it for a prompt in there, which was something that you was happy to work on or something, I think it was. And I was happy to work on this because I needed it. I want to display it in my kitchen. It is T-Rex by Silver Creek Samplers. I'd already finished its partner, Jurassic Perk, because I did it on the same piece of fabric. Yep, right there. There's its counterpart. Right, and here we go. T-Rex. Wait a minute, can't see the whole thing. Right, should we do that again? Here we go, T-Rex. Look at that. Isn't that divine? Look at it. I love it. It looks so cool. I was so glad to get it finished. Yeah, I forgot to tell you though that Welcome Witches I started on the 6th of February 2023, and I finished that 12th of January. And this one I started on the 25th of July last year, and I finished it on my birthday. So I had a birthday finish on the 17th of January. I was so happy. I got it finished. Well, I was on orders because my family wouldn't let me lift a finger at all. At all. And my poor hubby wasn't well. He kept passing out. But he was determined to make sure that I had a great day, that I didn't lift a finger. He'd cooked dinner, even though he wasn't well. Kept passing out on me. And I was like, I'll do it. And he was like, nope, 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 it's your day. You're not doing anything. And he wouldn't let me do anything, and I stitched all day and did nothing, and I felt really bad because he wasn't well. So yeah, look at that. So instead I stitched all day and looked after him when he let me, and I got this finished. I'm so happy to get it done. So yep, that's that one finished. I have no idea what the fabric is on because I can't remember where I got it from, or whether it was a birthday present from last year or Christmas, but I don't know. I don't remember. So it's a mystery fabric. I think it's a 14 count anyway. I know that much. I'm pretty certain it's a 14 count because again, most of my stuff's 14 count. Now the next one is a start and a finish. It's Sassy Sayings. I think it was Fiona Baker. I'm not entirely sure, so don't quote me on that. It was from a Ultimate cross stitch. Not sure which one it was. There's 4 of them that you can make them into a card, and I do believe this was already a picture, so it was a lot bigger. I don't know. I'll have to have a look at it. Anyway, I needed a prompt for wine, so I used it on wine. I was thinking about doing it ages ago anyway, so it gave me the prompt to do it. And he also used it in one of the prompts in Lord of the Rings for humans versus elves, I think. So I picked it for human, and I also used it in goblins and orcs, I think it was, or something like that, because I used it as a penalty stitches because I didn't have a prompt for it. And I did, but I left the saying off because the back stitch on it is very, very, very fiddly. So I was like, no, I'm not writing that on now. And I can't remember what it was saying, but it says something about I like to cook with food, wine, but sometimes I like to put it in food or something like that, it said. But here it is. It took me 2 days. Started it on the 23rd of January and had it finished on the 25th. So it was this, all the crosses were very easily, it was all full crosses. As I said, the back stitch was the, oh, let me get it in the picture, was the awkward thing, as you can see. But then I got that one done, so that was done quickly. So as I said, I was on fire. I got stuff done pretty quick, and then I got there was a birthday prompt, a birthday pop-up for the admins that came up. It started on the 19th, but I kind of missed it because I forgot to check. And it finished on the 29th, so I still had quite a few days to stitch. And plus I've got my shop in the Oza bar, so it helped me to stitch for weapons anyway. And the prompts were, let me get to the right bit. Oh yeah, that T-Rex, I forgot to tell you, in whip words there was 10 solutions in the word search, and as I said, you can stitch, the minimum you can stitch is 1,000 and the maximum is 2,000 because it's 200 words, 200 per word. So I used the T-Rex for whip words, and so I boat stitched that one, so I didn't have to do it individually, which was fun. So the January birthday pop-up, there's 4 of them, so they all each picked something that they wanted us to stitch for. So one of them picked sparkly, one picked full coverage, one did seasonal, and one picked sampler. So for sparkly, the only sparkly project I've got on the go, I think, there might be another one, I don't know, but I had Capricorn by DMC, and it's all stitched in DMC Etoile. So I got it finished because the prompt is stitch 500 stitches per prompt. So I thought, oh, perfect. That will see me perfectly, that 500 stitches. And so that's what I did. And then, so I'd like just over 500 stitches left, so I completed it. I think all I had left to do anyway was the rest of the stitches on his face, his eyes and his nose, and then all I had, I think the little, you know, the little scruff at the bottom of his chin, and then the stars and the little dots that go around the edge, and I had it completed. And I was pleased with myself that that's what I needed to do. Well pleased with myself from that. So that was another one off. So that was that one. And then for seasonal, I picked up my 4 Seasons by Goffin Designs, and I had spring, and I was not far from completing that either. So I worked on that and I got that finished too, and again that was just over 500 stitches to complete it. So as you can see, I had like a few that were not long from finishing. So, and that's what I got. So as you can see, I think the last time you saw it, I think I only had half of this done, or maybe just a bit here. So I completed all of that. I think I'm already at the in, I'm not entirely sure. And then I worked in these little bits. I know this was already here, and I think some of that was already there. No, I think that was already there, and then this one. So I've put in that motif, I did that, and I think all of this, and I went down here, all the way down here to finish it all off. And that's what it looked like. I think this bit here, some of it was already in, and I finished it off there, and that's what I got done, completed, and I'm so happy I got it done. And that's that one. I have plans for that soon. And so that was my 6th finish. So yes, I had 6 finishes. I forgot to tell you that Capricorn, I started on the 23rd of January last year, and I finished it on the 26th of January this year. The 4 seasons, the spring, I started on the 30th of January last year and finished it on the 27th of January this year. So the new ones that I started were less than the older ones. Right, so now on to whips. So my first whip that I worked on after I finished all of my finishes, I worked on Cabinet of Curiosities 2022 by Stitch Normani. Now, the reason I worked on this is because, as I said, when I finished Welcome Witches, I needed to finish it off for cats because I was short by 81. So this is what I've done. So I think I'd already done that from last time, I can't remember. So I started with the cat's tail, because that's what I needed to do. And then I went along and did the time turner. Is that what it is? Center, I'm not sure. The squares on the newt, his little feet. The stitches on the book, on the books. Then I did the dragon's eye, which I'm pretty certain dragon eyes do not look like that. And then to finish it off, because this one here, the stitches are done in yellow for the necklace. So I then missed that box and I went into the next one for the beetle, and that's what I did. And that's where I ended it. So, as I said, there's not much big stitch left in this to do. So I'm very confident that I can get this done this year. So I'm pleased with that one. And then after that, so that was that prompt for cats. Then I did, I started working on Coffin Shop for prompt 2, which is grass in the Stitch and Seek. But I also needed to use it for prompt in Lord of the Rings because I needed a pathway, so grass pathway, it made sense. So I did that, and I did quite a lot on this. I think I did about 2,000 stitches on this, so that was quite a lot. Because last year, I think on some of the projects I did like 300 to 600 stitches on each project, and then switched each month. Whereas this time I'm trying to focus on whips to get them finished. and this is what I've got done. I forgot to tell you, it's Coffin Shop. Sorry, Coffin Shop by, I think it's Little Girl Shop or Little Shop Girl. I can't remember the name, but when you put the picture in, you'll see it. And I had, since the last time you had seen it, I've done quite a lot. Like I said, all I had was half the house and a line going straight across. I finished the whole house. Oh, sorry, the shop, not the house. I put the windows in, finished the door, put the lights in, or the candles, I'm not sure. The coffin and the cross. I think I already had this tombstone in, I don't remember. I think I did. And I did the door as well. And then I went up and I've started working on the sign. And that's where I'm up to. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that progress. Right. So then I went on, oh yeah, and I started that Coffin Shop. I originally started it with Vicky. And again, I used it a prompt for somewhere in Lord of the Rings. I used that quite a few times in Lord of the Rings for something, and I think Penny Stitches. I started that Coffin Shop the 5th of September last year, and we did it for myth stitching because it was blocked colour. But I'm not in myth anymore. We left. We left myth. Left the Discord group because we didn't want to handle all the drama anymore. It was bad. So yeah, we don't deal with it anymore. Anyway, so that's that. Oh yeah, it's right in front of me. That Coffin Shop was by Little Girl Shop. Said it right in front of me. What a plonker. Anyway, moving on. The next one is Woody from Toy Story. I'm not sure if the kit is by Disney or not, I don't know, but I did get it from Aldi many moons ago, quite a few years ago. So yeah, it's a while ago, so I don't know if you can actually get it now. The last time you saw it, I only had a little bit done, and I'd made a mistake, so I had to unpick it. I'm making it for my nephew Mason because he's obsessed with Toy Story, and I was hoping to have it done for his Christmas, but I'd messed up and couldn't get my head around it. So this is what I have done so far. I've done quite a lot of progress. I used this for prompt number 4 in Stitch and Seek. Because of the nose on the horse. And Woody. But I didn't quite get there. But I did get quite a lot of progress. So I'm pleased with that. So I've practically, I think I've finished the whole of the horse now. And I'm starting to work on Woody. I believe I've got a horseshoe to go here. And then some more stars. And I think there's another horseshoe up here. So, but it's pretty much stitching up pretty quick, so I'm pleased with the progress that I'm making. So hopefully he'll have it for his birthday this year. I've got his sister's birthday next month, so I need to start making cards for them and stuff. So I've got Disney princesses to make that they're going to love. I think one's obsessed with Frozen, and I'm not sure what the other one's obsessed with. Have to find out. But that's that one. So I'm pleased with that progress. Right. I started Woody on 6th of October. I was confident that I was going to get it done for his birthday. Yeah, right, okay. I left that one too late. So then thought I'd get it done for Christmas. I didn't. Right. Now, back to the birthday prompt that I was doing for the modems. It called for the last two was full coverage and sampler. I don't think I had a full coverage project at the time, so I picked long dog sampler because, in my opinion, I think that's a full coverage in itself. And of course, it's a sampler, so I stitched for it, and that's what I did. Now this is on 18 count Ada. It was my restart because my original one I didn't have enough fabric from, and I did that on 14 count. I started this on the 10th of April last year because I originally started it on leap year the year before, and I restarted it last year. So this is what I've got done so far. I did 1,000 stitches on this in total. I've actually got to unpick because I did make a mistake, and I think that was due to me being tired. So see this I think it's this little bit along here. I've got to unpick it because I made a mistake. Not, yeah, from here, this bit here, I done one stitch too short. So all of this bit here and this bit here, it's got to be unpicked because I did it in the wrong place. I think it was due to me being tired that I miscounted. So when I realised I'd made the mistake, I just carried on, didn't tie it off because I thought I can unpick it and reuse the thread. So I've just got to go back and redo it again. But I got loads of progress on this, and I'm pleased with it. I think I actually got a page finish as well. So I'm absolutely pleased with the progress. And that's that. I'm really pleased with my progress there. I'm thrilled. And then my final whip is Aurora Cabin by Dimensions. This is one of my oldest whips now. I started this on 19th of May 2020, so it'll be 5 years old this year, but I have made megas progress on this year. So far I think I've done over 2,000 stitches, so I'm pleased with this. I'm hoping I might get it finished for Christmas this year because hubby wants to put it up on the wall. I used it in Stitch and Seek for the colour brown, because you'll see where I used it in a minute. I'm still keeping it in the hoop because the reason being, I'm still stitching on it, and so I'm not taking it off. I obviously used it in Feisty Focus. I won't talk about the February stuff because I want to do that at the next video, so I don't want to confuse everybody. But yeah, I am getting literally lots of stitching on this. so I'm pleased with my stitching on it. And I used it for, what did I use it on? Let's have a look. So I used it for a chimney, the colour brown. I did use it for number 10 for flat cap, but then I had to change it again. So I'm wondering though, did I use it for base? No, I used it for cauldron, sorry. And then I used it for baseball, no, flat cap. But then I had to do it, then I did it with baseball cap as well, so I've done it twice. Yeah. So we got lots of stitching on it, that's why. So there was 4 prompts that I used it for. And then here we go. So as you can see, I used it for the colour brown here. I think I already explained this in my last video. And I finished all the brown at the bottom there, where you can see it, I think. And I got quite 100 colours on it, and then I did all the bit here. I think I explained that in my last video. And then, on what I've been working on, if you've noticed, I've been working on this blue bit of the Aurora. I can't say the rest of it, sorry. And I've been coming across here in the trees because I know, like I said every time I work on this, I made a major somewhere with these trees. And I don't know how, because every time I look at it, it looks correct. And I can't rectify it. But, to me, that looks okay. And so here, I couldn't fit the rest of it. So I left it off for a bit, because then I came back up here and I'm going in here. So what I've been doing is filling in the gaps, and then I can make a decision with the rest of the stitches afterwards. But I am absolutely chuffed with the progress. I am loving it. Absolutely loving it. I've used it quite a few times in the prompts in Lord of the Rings as well, and of course I'm using it from everywhere else, and it is, it's coming on so well. Of course, once I finish the filming today, I'll be working on this as well. And that was my final whip. So that was all my whips, and like I said, I did have haul, but unfortunately I don't know what I did with it. Well, I do know what I did with it. I put it all away. But I got a mixture. I got 14, 18 count. I got some black, white, ivory, I think, and I got some sparkly fabric, different colours. And then I got loads of kits. I was truly spoiled. And clothes as well. Oh, and yes, my hubby got me a couple of magnet things, because with my hands, where I get the pins and needles and the numbness, sometimes, well, I say sometimes, I'm always dropping my needles because I forget that I've got hold of them and I'm dropping them and I'm losing them, and then either my husband or my son are always finding them because it either pricks them somewhere. And so he bought me a magnet thing where I can go along, so if I drop it I can find my magnets, my needles. And my son keeps going, "Mummy, I'm going detecting with your magnet," and off he goes, and he comes back with loads of stuff. Go, "Look what I found." Okay, fine. Yeah, in the hopes that he finds all my needles. So yeah, he's got me a little one for the bedroom and a giant big one for the lounge. It's massive. And it's got a little tray so I can put all my needles in it. And they stay in the tray because it's magnetic. It's awesome. I also got, what else did I get? I got something else, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, I got 2 beautiful handmade cards from my husband and Harley, my son. They made them for me, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The beautiful handmade cards. What else? Oh, I got a lovely bouquet of flowers. I can't think of anything else. Anyway, enough of that then. Okay, I'm going to move on to plans. So, in February, the Winter Olympics start, and I don't know if you know her, but Naptime Stitcher, is that right? Let me see it. Oh, I printed off her thing. Naptime Stitcher. I think it's Naptime Stitcher. Yeah, the Naptime Stitcher. The hashtag is Stitch the Winter Olympics. Well, I decided to take part in it. Yes, I know. And this is what I'm doing. In the Whip Warriors group, they are doing the Winter Olympics as well. I'm taking part in that one, and I'm going to do I've picked 3 whips, and I'm doing my Blackwork sales from the 23, 24, 25 because I've not touched them for a while and I need to do them. So they're going to be my focus for Whip Warriors. And what they've done is they've put, you pick 2 teams. So I've done Great Britain for my Mockers of the Nation, and then you pick another nation. I've looked through, I don't know, but I've picked China. Yeah, don't look at me, but they win all the time. In past Olympics, when I've watched it, alright, it's either USA or China. They always walk away with a lot of medals. So I decided to pick China and see what happens. Anyway, so the stitches for each of the medals are 50 for bronze, 100 for silver, and 200 for gold. I'm going to be eating my words, I think. But anyway, it's all for backstitch, so I think I can deal with that. Because that means if I can get my black work done, then I'm all for it. Now, for Naptime Stitchers ones, because look, this is like a whole thing. These are her prompts. For because it all starts on February the 6th, and the opening ceremonies. The prompt is new start or something you started in 2026. My new start that I started was Deadpool, that I'd started for hubby. So I'm stitching on that one. Now here she's not giving you any stitches, so I can set my own go for that. I don't know how many stitches I'm going to do on it or anything, because it's going to coincide with my black work sale, so I might do whatever the goes offset on for Whip Warriors, you know, with the bronze, gold and silver. I might do that for this one, and it might help me with that. So that's what I'm going to do. Right, so February the 7th, it says Pride of Nations. Stitch something patriotic for a nation of your choice. Now, UK doesn't have, like, you know, like July of, you know, like USA has like the July the 4th and stuff like that. But we do celebrate days like St. George's Day, St. David's, St. Andrew's, St. Patrick's Day. So I'm thinking I might pick one of those to stitch for a day. So I might do something like a St. Patrick's Day, because we do celebrate St. Patrick's Day. We do celebrate St. George's Day. So I'm going to look at something like that. So I might like stitch a little small thing for like St. Patrick's Day. So watch that space for whatever I pick. February the 8th, Winter Olympics. Something related to winter. I've got Let It Snow. Olympic rings. Stitch with floss on a fabric in a colour from the Olympic rings. Blue, yellow, black, green and red. Now I've got Let's Hug a Teacher. It's got all the colours in it. So I'm using that one. The mascots, Tina and Milo, February the 10th. So it says stitch something with an animal in it. Now, I've not touched my all year round sale for a while. And it's got a squirrel and a robin in it. And then the rest of it's flowers. So I'm going to work on that one to get some progress in it a little bit. Just a little bit of progress. And then February the 11th, stitch something you were encouraged. So it says like a sweep, to stitch by a friend or social media. Now I'm putting down Coffin Shop because originally last year, September, when we were in this, me, Jen and Vicky all stitched Coffin Shop for Myth. And we were all encouraged each other. And now I know Jen's finished hers completely. And so we decided, because we were encouraged to stitch for it, we were like, should we do this as a team to stitch it for, while we were battling it out with other people. And so that's what we're going to do. For short track speed skating, stitch something with a border or a row of something. Now I'm not sure, but I know my black work has got a border. So I'm going to put my black work sow in that. February the 13th, skeleton. Stitch something with a Halloween or fall theme. Now I've got you all know I've got a few Halloween projects. So I'm going to pick one of my Halloween ones to get them finished. Stitch your whip go project or toward any other goal for hockey. Now I don't do whip go, I've never have, although I did try, but I failed miserably and I found it didn't work for me. But I want to get working on my mindfulness mandala because I started it for my mental health. And I always try to get it done for Stratton Cell, but I've failed for the last few months. So I thought that's a goal I want to work to. So I've put that down. February the 16th, Nordic Combined. It says stitch something that is part of a series. So I've picked 4 seasons because there are 4 of them in a season. So you've got the spring, winter, summer, autumn. So I've picked winter, and I have got colours for these. These are the colours that I've picked for winter. As you can see, because I'm doing them all in variegated. So for winter, because originally I was going to do them in a darker blue, and then then my husband bought these for my Christmas, and so the colours that I had the other day when I got them all out and I was sorting them all out, and I looked at them and I was like, I don't think I want to stitch these anymore using these colours, and I picked these with the help of my hubby, with this colour that I thought would be ideal for winter. What do you think? That for winter. Now, it was a hard decision because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for winter, because originally I was going to do it in like a variegated yellow, but we were thinking it was too pale, because look, this is the original colour that I was going to have for winter, for summer, but it looks a bit washed out there, it looks too pale. So we decided on this one with a bit of colour, which I think works well. And then for autumn, look at those colours. Yeah, works well. So they're the colours that I've picked for winter, autumn and summer. And that is what I'm going to have a start on February the 16th. So they're the colours that I've picked for that one, because it's a series. They pretty much stitch up pretty quick, them ones. Right, now February the 17th, this says an Olympic Village. Stitch something with a house or a building. I've got a few options here. I could do Aurora Cabin, or I've got Coffin Shop. So, and there's also my Christmas Village. So I've got a few options there. I did put down Aurora Cabin, then I scrubbed it out and put Village Coffin Shop. But depending on how I feel when I come there, it might be changed again, so we'll see what happens. Now the Bathalon, it says stitch a piece of your choice to stay on target. Now, I've always saying this, I've got bookmarks that I need to do for teachers for high school. And I'm on my third or fourth one now. I think it's third actually. I need to get them done, so that's my target. So I've put down colourful bookmark to get it done. And then it says stitch something with letters or numbers. So I put down let's hug a teacher, because they're all letters, there's all words in them. So that's what I've done. It says stitch something you want to stay on track to finish. That was, yeah, that last one was figure skating. This one's for bobsleigh. So I've put colourful bookmark because I want to get it done. And then it says February 21st, medal ceremony. Stitch something with a flower or floral motif. So I put all year round sale because the rest of them are all flowers. February 22nd, closing ceremonies. Stitch something you hope to finish in 2026. So I'll put let us know because it is close to finishing. There's not much left to do in it. So I thought I'll do that and try and get it done as much as I can. So that is all of my projects that I want to do. There's not much left to stitch wise. I don't know how many stitches I need to do on each one. I don't think there is a stitch limit, so I'm going to stick with what the Whip Warriors have done, and I'm going to use that as my goal focus. For the Whip Warriors, the new prompts for Stitch and Seek. The prompts are rabbit. Yeah, I ain't got a project with a rabbit, so I need to do it. I found one as a little small one that I'm going to do maybe because I can use it for spring. Rose, I'm going to use my all year round sale because one of them's got a rose in it. Bed, I'm not making a project with a bedding, so what I've done is I took a picture with I took a whip, put it on my bed, and took a picture with the current whip that I'm working on. Heart. Now I'm using Deadpool for this one because he blows a few hearts if you've seen the picture. Teddy bear. I don't stitch anything with teddy bears in. I'm not a big teddy bear fan. Unless I'm stitching it for somebody else. So, I stole one of my son's teddy bears and took a picture with the current whip that I was working on. The colour red, I'm going to use Deadpool because he's got some red in him, and plus the heart, so I'm killing two birds with one stone. Chocolate. I haven't got a whip with chocolate on it, so I'm going to... I've got some chocolate in the fridge and I'm going to use that. That's my biggest, that's what I'm going to do. Horse and carriage. Now this one is causing me problems like you would never know. It says that the horse and carriage must be on the whip. Well, I don't like I shouldn't say that. I'm not a horse lover. I don't stitch horses. So I have got to go and stitch I've got to go and find a project with a horse and a cart. So I'm trying to find one and it's causing me flipping problems. And I'm not happy about it. Dress. I'm using my butterfly fairy. And Cupid. Now I've got to find a project with a Cupid because I haven't got one. So yeah, so horse and carriage. In actual fact, with the horse and carriage, I have found one that is quite cute. So I'm going to do that one. And one of the girls that's in one of our messenger chats, she found a really good one that was like a Halloween themed. So I'm tempted to actually buy that and do that instead because it is quite good. So I might do that instead. So we'll see. So I've got a few options. But anyway. Feisty Focus starts on Friday too. And I'm supposed to be using my Aurora cabin, so we'll see where I'm at with that. So we'll see what I do. I could work around it, I suppose. Whitword starts on the 18th and Strident Sail is on the 22nd, so I'll see what I'm doing. Anyway, and that's it, that's my plans. Not much to do. Not really. So, but as I said, not much for me to focus on. Oh yes, as I said, I'm sure there was something I was supposed to say there, but I forgot. I'm going over to monthly. I've got to tell you, I don't know if I've told you if I've got a hashtag for my 150 for 50. It's hashtag 150. 1 minute, there's somebody knocking at my door. Sorry, that was a parcel at the door, that was for me. No, it's not any haul. It's for the house. Now where was I? Oh yes, as I was saying, I'm recording monthly now. I've got a hashtag for my 150 finishes by 50. It's hashtag 150 the number 4 50. I think. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, on that note though, for that, I have got 46 finishes for 150, so I'm pretty much on target, I think. So I'm pretty confident that I can get that done by the time I'm 50. I mean, I'm 47 now, so 3 years. And I started this, when did I start this? Back in February last year. So yeah, I'm confident. What else was there? Pretty certain there was something else I was supposed to have told you, but I can't remember. Oh yeah, my stats. Right, my stats for January was, the stitches that I've done for January was 9,747. I started the year with 38 whips. I finished 6 whips, or I'd finished 6 whips, and I started 3. So I'm pretty pleased with that. So going forward for February, so my projects, so for February I'm starting with 36 whips. I'm starting with February 36 whips. I can't complain at that. Hoping to try and get the whip list down a bit. So 36 whips is not bad at all. So without further ado, I'll leave you to get on with the rest of your day, and I hope to see you again next month, hopefully near the 1st or maybe the 2nd, depending on what day it falls on and what I have going on. I hope to see you soon. Don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Bye for now. Bye.